Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about this new phrase I just heard about called passport bros. And for those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I've spoken about going overseas and looking for a wife. And I spoke about some of my time in Thailand and Vietnam and how dating in these countries as an American man, to put it in the easiest terms possible, is it's simpler. It's a simpler life. So I discovered this guy, Auston Holleman, who is apparently one of the, he's part of the passport bro movement, and he's a YouTuber. He's got almost 40K subs. So he's making an impact on the space. And apparently he spent some time in Brazil where he was vlogging his journey, and some of the content that he made came off as referring to Brazilian women as easier. Now, I understand what he was trying to get at. Dating in developing or third world countries is easier for an American man than dating here in the US, where, things like progressive feminism and equality have really muddied the lines when it comes to dating, when it comes to roles, norms. It is challenging to date here in the US, and I've noticed that it's changed dramatically. I'd say in the last 10 years is really where dating has just become very, very challenging here. It's hard to meet people and it's hard to connect with people. And a lot of that probably has to do with technology as a whole. But I found personally going overseas during my time in Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Mexico, women tended to treat me a little bit better than the women here in the US. And what I mean by that is women in developing countries aspire to be wives, and a lot of times they look to men as they need a man. It's not just, I want a man. It's, I need a man. We complete each other. And so I think that sets a different ground for the relationship. Like here in America, most women, they work. So most women don't really need a man. They become the men they want to marry, right? They make their own money, they make their income. But when you go to a place like Thailand, for example, if a Thai woman meets an American man, there's this expectation that an American man will pay for everything. And a lot of times American men won't mind because the cost of living in Thailand is so cheap, unlike the US where the cost of living is so high. For me to take care of a woman's finances in the US, I'd probably have to spend about $3,000 to $5,000 on her per month to take care of her rent, her makeup, her meals, her shopping, right? It's a lot of money. But when you go to Thailand as an American man with dollars, not the local currency baht, you can take care of a woman's life for $1,000 a month. So as an American man, you don't feel the financial impact as much. So therefore, you're probably more willing to be happy to reach to your wallet and cover all the meals. You go out in Thailand for a nice meal, might be $10 a person. Good luck finding that in Joe Biden's America. It doesn't exist anymore. I just went to a Moe's Southwest Grill today to get myself 3 tacos, a side of queso, a side of chicken for my dogs, and a drink, and it was $27. So that's how we're living here in the US. You want a quick, fast meal, $27. Thailand, you want to go to a nice restaurant with waiters, $10. It's unbelievable. So my point is, dating overseas is financially easier. A lot of the women, they do believe in typical gender roles. And that has been proven in research. To the average relationship that has traditional gender roles is happier. On average, there are exceptions to that. Plus, the one thing that men want in a relationship is, I would say, is peace and respect. I'd say those are the two most important things: to be respected as a man and to have peace. We don't like to come home to drama. And I just feel like in America, in the relationships today, there's a lot of ambiguity and uncertainty because the roles are kind of like overlapping, and women are expected to do a lot. I would say too much. But if you go overseas, developing country, and you end up with let's say a local woman, right? A local girl, odds are she probably won't have some kind of high paying career, right? So you don't have to compete. She doesn't have to compete with that. You don't have to compete with that. She will basically aspire to be a wife and a mother. And it removes that third element of a career, right? As a man, you're expected to be a husband, father, and have a career. So what it does is it gives women in developing countries more time for their family and more time for themselves. Here in the US, women are generally overworked because they're still the primary caretaker at home. They're still expected to be a good wife, and they're still expected to, in general, have a career. And I think that's unfair for really anybody to have all those jobs. Being a mom, in my opinion, is perhaps the most important job in the world, and also the most time-consuming job in the world. It's not a 9 to 5, it's a 24-hour job. Because when you're a mom and you're the primary caretaker and your kid is crying at 4 a.m., well, you're on the clock. You don't get paid overtime. So I have great respect for, moms. I miss my mom. She was a stay-at-home wife until we were 18. And then she went back to college, got a degree. I had a lot of respect for that. But I grew up with my mom. I didn't grow up with a babysitter for the most part. I didn't grow up at a school, a boarding school. I didn't grow up, with some strangers watching me. I grew up with my mom and dad. And I think that was a pretty solid foundation. So to me, as a 39-year-old single male, you guys who've been watching my channel for a while know that I aspire to hopefully make it to the Philippines when I have more stable health or I have a kidney transplant to find my wife. Because it doesn't have to be Philippines, by the way. I just say that kind of half jokingly. I would like the Philippines, but also I'm open to Vietnam. I'm open to Thailand. I'm open to Southeast Asia. I'm open to places like Eastern Europe. I'm pretty open, but I just know that I like the idea of entering a relationship with a blueprint of kind of how both of us are supposed to bring into the relationship. So there's a huge appeal for me going overseas to find what I want. I tell people all the time, I will probably never seriously date an American woman again. I probably won't. I just don't see, after all the time I've spent around the world, I just find my life overseas with a woman to be more peaceful, simpler. And I don't want to use the word easier because I believe the word easy is what got Auston in trouble. But in a lot of ways, it is easier. I'm not saying the women are easier. I'm saying it's an easier lifestyle. I think that's an important distinction. So anyway, back to the point of this video. That was a very long 7-minute monologue to kick this off. Auston Holleman is a passport bro who spent some time in Brazil. So apparently Auston said a few things on his YouTube videos that really, it was perceived negatively by some Brazilian women. So he basically got chased out of the country because I believe he received some death threats. And when you're abroad in places like Brazil and you get death threats, you should probably take them a little more seriously than you would here in the US. I've never received a death threat overseas. Thank God. I've only received them here in the US by liberals. But yeah, if I was in Brazil, sharing my passport bro stories and putting it on the internet and painting the woman in a negative light, I'd be a little nervous too. So I'm just going to say my advice is if you are a passport bro and you are going overseas, make sure you're respectful of the culture, of the country, of the women. If you are going to involve yourself in shenanigans, act like a ninja, do it quietly, keep that shit off of the internet, unless you're trying to be the bad guy, you're trying to be the enemy. In that case, you do what you want to do. But if you want to make sure that you don't get death threats, keep your crazy shit off of YouTube and don't offend women or people. So if you're going to go overseas and involve yourself in shenanigans, what I recommend is find a local co-host who can teach you the ropes, keep you in line, tell you what's acceptable socially, what's not, because you don't want to get caught in a situation like Auston Holleman where you got to cut your trip short and then have to flee from a country. So let's watch his video and then we're going to just do a quick reaction to it.
Hola, tudo bem? Now, recently, it's Auston Holleman, first of all. Recently, as in 12 hours ago from now, 3 a.m. Brazil time, Salvador, Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro time, Auston, I posted a video, a clip of my longer YouTube videos titled, "Do Brazilian Women Like Criminals or Good Dudes?" The purpose of this video was for my followers to get a perspective on the difference of the culture between Brazil and the United States, because the United States, the women like the criminals. This has been scientifically proven. So I said, you know what? I think Brazilian women are the best women on the planet, but let me go out and ask these women what they think and prove my point. I've said several videos that I think Brazilian women are the best women on the planet. I just now started posting my clips on Twitter. I think this may have been the first one. And it went viral. Okay, I woke up, it had like 20 something thousand views. That was like at 7 in the morning. It's 3 p.m. and it's at almost 900,000 views. So this video is probably gonna hit 2 million views before 24 hours. Like literally within 20 minutes, 70,000 people saw the video. Like it was like 750,000, then it was like 920 in 20 minutes. 70,000 people saw the video, so this video is going viral. And of course, Auston is used to getting hate from American men, which is crazy, American women, which is understandable. But
yeah, a lot of American women are speaking out against passport bros because they're losing their dating pool, right? We're leaving America and we're going overseas. I mean, they already think that dating in America is tough and that there's a very limited amount of men that they want. And think about it. You know, probably only the top 10% of men in America are happy because they're getting all the women. And then there's another, 20%, below that are pretty good men that are just out of the 10%, so they don't get the attention. And they end up going overseas. Like this Auston Holleman here, he's a decent looking guy. He's got a decent build. He probably makes decent money. You know, he may not be the top 10% of men in America. I'm not a girl. I wouldn't know. Maybe he is. But let's say he's not. Let's say he's the 20% of men in America. He's out of the US. He's going overseas. And then there's me. Maybe I'm the top 30% of men in America, right? Maybe lower now because of my health issues. But the point is, I've pretty much taken myself out of the dating pool here because I also plan on going overseas to find what I'm looking for. So a lot of women in America are kind of like, what about us? Like, what happened? So it's very interesting what's going on in our dating world. I think that they're predicting that a lot of women are going to end up single, childless, and own a lot of cats in the next 20 years. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that.
The crazy part is I did not shit on anybody. I didn't say anything negative about anybody. I didn't bring up American women. I didn't say anything bad about Brazilian women. I never say anything bad about Brazilian women. I came to Brazil to be with Brazilian women because I love Brazilian women. But I make content about this and I'm traveling around the cities in different parts of the world to show people. I don't say negative things about Brazilian women. Surprisingly, these must be Brazilian feminist women. One of them, and I'm gonna post a comment here. I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna show you. These women say that they have went to the local women's police station. I didn't even know those existed, but the women's police station to report me. Now, what I'm not understanding is, what are you gonna tell the police? Because you're gonna have to lie for me to be breaking the law. You know what I mean? All I said in the video was, how soon would you kiss me? Because in Brazil, kissing is different than it is in the United States. That's one thing I love about it. And I think she said right away, if she likes me. And I said, oh really? So how soon would you go home with me? And I asked that because in the United States, a man can take a woman on 75 dates and get a side hug every time. But in Brazil, I have said, women in Brazil, more often than not, like 90% of the time, they're not going on a date with you. They're not even going to give you their number if they're not interested in you fully.
So what he's saying is, in Brazil, a woman will only go on a date with you if she's truly interested in you. So once she agrees to the date, you're in, right? She likes you. In the US, it's not like that. You can go on a date with the woman and then go in for the kiss at the end of the night and then get rejected, or sometimes she might even be offended by it. And again, that's people, there's no, how do I phrase this? Just because you pay for someone's dinner or take them on a date doesn't mean that they're entitled to do anything with you. So that is the reality. That's the reality. Remember, the best kind of consent is enthusiastic consent, when everyone is extremely happy and excited about doing whatever they want to do. But that's the one thing that is different between foreign countries and the US. When a woman in a Southeast Asian country agrees to go on a date with you, she really is already into you. So you enter the date with a lot more confidence. And when a man comes off as confident, the woman's going to like him even more. So it's very interesting that dating in developing or developing countries, second world countries, it's simpler. It's just more direct, as he's talking about here.
Have it happen sometimes, but that's definitely not common here. And I've always admired that about Brazilian women. I love it because I don't like to waste time. And then I said after.
And also waste money, because dates in America are very expensive. You take a girl on a date in New York, you're dropping $300-$400 a night on a first date. So you better be as Andrew Tate says, top G. You better be a top G.
After she was like, I wouldn't waste any time. I would go home with you the same day if I had time. I said, that's all I needed to know. Get your passport. Because that was proving my point that, hey, these women value time. They have clarity. They know what they want. That proves that. Because the United States is different. But this isn't about the United States right now. There's a woman, or I don't know, that says, I hope that you catch a bullet in your head, you effing gringo, or something like that. And I'm like, bullet in the head? For what?
I've gotten that from liberals. I've gotten death threats. Someone on my comments once said to me, they look forward to the day that there's a bullet in my head. So I know what it feels like to get those kind of death threats, man. It sucks.
Why would either me or the female get shot? What kind of threat is that? And that was like, wow, like there's some people, and I know it's just the internet. People, it's easy to say that online. It's very easy to say stuff like that online. That's part of the internet nowadays. But what would make you say that? But hey, I'm gonna keep posting content. I have stopped talking about American women. Now it's just me going around asking Brazilian women questions. And hey, don't get mad at me. Get mad at the person that said it. And there's nothing wrong with what she said. Anyway, I don't even know who she is. I don't have her number. I don't even remember her name. Let me also clarify this as well. This channel is not about sex tourism. There's nothing about this channel that is me promoting men go to other countries to buy sex. Let me make that clear. I do not promote men buying sex. And I've said that. I've said, guys, if you go to these other countries, do not just mess with the pros, because I can't stop y'all from doing that. We can't complain about American women and then go deal with women that everybody can get. Go meet you a genuine woman that genuinely likes you in Brazil, Thailand, I don't care where you go, and deal with her. Do what you want though, but that's what I'm promoting. I wouldn't go around asking prostitutes when do they expect to get married, how soon do they go home. I know how soon they go home. So no, I don't promote prostitution. I promote men in the United States and other Western countries getting what they deserve, because firsthand experience, I was not getting what I deserved in the United States. I worked on myself. I'm a very handsome young man, and I know that. And I was treated like shit. I came to Brazil because I was like, let me try a whole different country, because these women in my country are not treating me right. And the women here treated me so well. When I was on the way back, about to get on the plane, I was in tears, crying, because I could not believe it. And now I live here because once you go back to the United States after experiencing somewhere like Brazil, and I think Brazil is its own, there's nothing like Brazil. Anyway, I just wanted to clear up any confusion. I feel like this video is pointless. But yeah, this is a very viral moment for me right now. And I appreciate everybody's been sharing and calling me corny, because the more you call me corny and the more you share my videos, the more recognition I get. But yeah, I just want to say that that's what this is mainly about. I do not promote sex tourism, because that's what stood out to me the most, that people were commenting like, oh.
So the thing is like, if you're going to go overseas and you're going to be vlogging about women, you're going to be showing women in your content, it's really hard to make it not look like you're promoting sex tourism. No matter what icing on the cake or decoration you put onto the cake, it's always going to come off like sex tourism. So you got to be really, really careful how you package your product. So that's something to be aware of if you're going to become a passport bro and you're going to be vlogging just to show off and try to, get some clout with these hot chicks. It's going to come off like you're promoting sexual tourism, even if behind the scenes you're not actually paying money to these women.
You're promoting sex tourism. Never, ever. I promote men getting in relationships with these women, and whether they want to have a good time and just date around and see what they like first, have a girlfriend, get married. I can't control any of that. But I do not promote prostitution.
The one thing I do want to say is that in some countries, prostitution is actually legal. So I was surprised to learn when I was in Mexico, depending on where I was, different areas, prostitution is actually legal. And then other areas it's not. So I thought that was really interesting. Vegas, there's an area in Vegas where prostitution is legal. So, when prostitution's legal, it removes the legality of the situation and it becomes just a moral issue, an issue of morality. But in areas where it's legal, the issue of morality is not as big of a deal, right? Because for a lot of people, morality is it illegal or is it not? I just think it's interesting that there are countries where you can do this stuff and it's not as frowned upon. You can do it openly and it's not as frowned upon. I remember I was in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and you go out to the nightlife, which is where there's families and everyone goes to this nightlife area. It's like a nice long avenue. I think it's called Fifth Avenue or something, and then I'm pretty sure it's what it is. But you will find the prostitutes just out in the open, and it's pretty obvious who they are because they're all congregating in the same area every night, and you could just walk up to them, negotiate right on the street, and it's not a big deal. So I just find that, be aware of where you are, be aware of the laws, be aware of the legality. But personally, I just don't think that you need to be paying for it while you're overseas.
International prostitution, because I don't even do prostitution. Has it happened before? Of course. But that is not, no, I don't go around buying women. No, that.
Just want to say that.
You know what?
In one way or another.
You know what? Prostitution,
in one way or another, you are, as a man, generally paying for it, right? Whether or not you're giving a woman cash directly, men are still expected to pay for dinners and first dates and second dates and third dates. Let's be honest. And there are a lot of women in the U.S. that expect men to pay for their nails, their petties, their manis, buy them a purse. So while it's not direct prostitution and the meal is kind of like the middleman, you're still paying for it one way or another.
National prostitution, none of that. Because I don't even do prostitution.
And for those of you who say that I'm wrong here, let's be honest. If you're at the dinner with a lady and the bill comes and you don't pay it or you ask to split it, dude, you're out. You're permabanned. You are getting ghosted after that meal 99.9% of the time. That's just the facts. Has
it happened before? Of course. But that is not, no, I don't go around buying women. No. That's not, I would not leave my country permanently to, not even at all, to go sleep with prostitutes. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear from the Brazilians. I'll put this in Brazilian Portuguese now that I know a lot of Brazilians are watching my videos.
Yeah, you're on the radar, bro.
Y'all keep watching, and remember, in the United States, never in Brazil. I never say it's about Brazil because I love Brazil, that's why I live here. But in the United States, it's that bad.
He's not wrong. It's, as I've said in the video, U.S. dating has changed. Men generally seem to be unless they're the elite men, like Andrew Tate, Top G, who get whatever they want. Unless you're that level or close to that level, the pickings for the men here are slim. I mean, if I showed you guys my Bumble, the matches I get, it's slim pickings because I'm not the top 1% of men, obviously. I'm not the top 10% of men. And I know that because I see on my Bumble matches and my Tinder matches, the options are not very good. When I go overseas to Vietnam and Thailand, my options are very good and plentiful. I have so many more options there. And these are beautiful, gorgeous women that I'm actually proud to date. I'm proud to show off. I'm proud to put on my Instagram, which I'm not trying to say that's the most important thing in the world. but it's kind of important to a lot of guys. You know, we want to have a pretty girl next to our you know, on our arm. We want to show off a little bit. We want to be proud of the woman that we're dating, you know? So it's just tough here in the U.S. Times have changed unless you're the top elite men. And, you know, I think for a lot of guys, being a passport bro it's a good solution. And I encourage all men, before you settle down, travel the world. You owe it to yourself as a man to go overseas before you settle down here in the US. You might still end up with an American chick. You might still end up marrying a feminist. That's fine. But all I'm saying is just go explore the world. And worst case, you get to see a whole new country. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments about this. If you are a single gentleman, do you find it appealing to go overseas to a foreign country? Is that something you would do? If so, what country is on your radar? Let me know where you guys would like to go to, you know, look for a potential partner or just have a good time. You know, let me know in the comments. And also, if you are looking for help getting to sleep at night and you need to relax, I strongly recommend my product. And by the way, I'm a co-founder of this brand, Hemp for Heroes, right over here. Check it out. This is the Liberty Lemon flavor. It is absolutely delicious. And we have other great flavors such as Blueberry Lives Matter. We also have the Great Orange Hope, named after President Donald Trump, who is our Great Orange Hope. We really hope he comes back in 2024, and I have a good feeling he is. But definitely check out our products. We have them on sale right now. hempforheroes.com, and I believe we're selling the products for $30. We also have some combat oil, which I've been using a lot lately because my muscles have been quite sore. So yeah, guys, I just had a juicy tricep day yesterday, so I like to use this combat oil, put it on the biceps, the triceps, and rub that stuff in, and it will help you. No guarantees, because I'm not a medical expert, but it's supposed to help your muscles recover a little bit faster, alleviate some of the soreness. Damn, I got some good lighting right here. Look at that, guys. But no, seriously, it's a great product. Combat oil, check it out. You could also find it on hempforheroes.com. And all purchases help support my channel. So go check it out when you guys have a chance. As always, thank you so much for watching, and God bless Trump. God bless Trump. He's coming back. He's coming back.